She stole my ATV in broad daylight right out of my garage, smirking into her phone like she owned the world. Minutes later, she was live streaming her joyride, swerving down streets packed with kids and strollers. By the end of the day, her mother, the president of our HOA, was in handcuffs for tampering with police evidence. That's how fast the mask of being untouchable can shatter. It started on a Saturday morning, the kind of quiet morning where you just want to enjoy your coffee and maybe tinker with something in the garage. For me, that something was my ATV, a beat-up Can-Am Outlander I had spent 6 months restoring piece by piece. The garage door was up, the sun was out, and I was finally proud of how it gleamed. That's when I felt it, the prickle on the back of my neck that meant someone was watching. I looked up and there she was, Madison Duke, 16 years old, daughter of Karen Duke, our HOA president. Madison leaned against her mom's golf cart with the words, HOA President, fluttering on a flag in the back like it was royalty. Phone in hand, recording smirk plastered across her face. That smirk told me everything I needed to know. She'd never heard the word no in her life. That's a nice toy, Cole, she said, voice dripping with fake boredom. It's not a toy, Madison, I muttered, still wiping the seat, and you're standing on my property. She took one slow step forward, quoting some nonsense about bylaw section C like she was a lawyer. I told her plain, take another step, and it's trespassing. She just laughed and glanced around my garage, and that's when her eyes locked on it, the little magnetic key box on the shelf. She knew exactly what it was. I turned my back, hoping she'd get bored. That was my mistake. Within seconds, my phone buzzed with a motion alert from the doorbell cam inside the garage. I looked up at the screen, and there she was, slipping in like a snake, snatching the key, face lit with gleeful malice. She thought she was untouchable. Before I could react, she was straddling the ATV, jamming the key into the ignition. The engine roared. She winked at me, held her phone up to catch my reaction, and gunned it down the street, steering one-handed, streaming the whole thing. My pride and joy was gone in seconds. I stood frozen, then felt the cold simmer of fury rising in my chest. My wife Pam came outside, coffee mug in hand. Was that our ATV? She asked, wide-eyed. I just held up my phone. She stole the key. She stole the bike. And we have it on video. Pam didn't even hesitate. She patched me into 911, started pulling doorbell footage, logged into our Can-Am account, even activated the AirTag I had secretly taped inside the storage box. If Madison thought she was clever, she had no idea what she was up against. As I followed at a safe distance in my truck, the dispatcher told me to stay calm, not pursue. But up ahead, I could see Madison weaving across lanes, laughing into her phone. Police units closed in, lights flashing, and instead of stopping, she panicked, cut hard onto Willow Creek Lane, a street full of kids and dog walkers. My heart dropped. Then came the sound I'll never forget, screeching tires, a high-pitched scream, and a crunch of metal. I turned onto Willow Creek and saw the aftermath. My ATV was wrecked against a curb, Madison crying in a rose bush, and Sarah, our neighbor, on her knees clutching her baby. The stroller lay on its side wheels, still spinning. Madison had missed that child by inches. Inches. Neighbors gathered furious, their faces pale with shock. And then Karen arrived. She didn't run to Sarah, didn't ask if the baby was okay. No, she went straight to her daughter. "My baby! What did they do to you?" she cried, ignoring the overturned stroller. That was it. That was the moment the whole neighborhood turned on her. Tom, the baby's father, stormed out of his house, shaking with rage. "Your daughter almost killed my son. And you're asking what we did to her." Karen waved around a crumpled piece of paper claiming Madison had some made-up medical condition. She had signed it herself, like that would erase everything. The officer just folded it, handed it back, and told her flat out, "This is not a legal document." That night I sat at my kitchen table staring at my wrecked project on the insurance report, feeling like I'd been punched in the gut. Part of me wanted to give up, maybe just swallow the loss. Let it go. Who was I to fight the HOA president and her army of cronies? They had the power, the rules, the arrogance. And me, I had a busted ATV and a bad feeling. But Pam wouldn't let me sink. She leaned across the table laptop, glowing in her eyes, and said, "Cole, this isn't just Madison being reckless. Karen had that excuse paper ready. She expected this. We're not dealing with stupidity, we're dealing with a plan. She was right. As neighbors started sending us their security footage, we stitched together a full video log of Madison's rampage. Pam pulled GPS data from the AirTag, and that's when she found the weird stop near the HOA maintenance shed. She dug deeper online and uncovered something insane: marketplace ads for compliance pickups charging $500 to return non-compliant vehicles. The language was all HOA buzzwords, and one of the sellers linked directly to Gary Peterson, Karen's right-hand man. It hit me like a brick. This wasn't just a spoiled kid joyriding, this was a racket. They were using the HOA as cover to steal vehicles and extort their neighbors. Madison wasn't just playing rebel, she was the delivery girl for her mom's scheme. Pam and I decided we weren't going to roll over. We called the police, laid out everything, and together we set a trap. The next night we parked an old ATV in my driveway, covered half with a tarp, perfect bait. Pam made a fake profile and tipped off the compliance pickup crew. Sure enough, at 7:55 p.m., a rusty flatbed pulled up. Out climbed Gary Peterson and Gage, the HOA's wannabe cop. They didn't knock, didn't leave a notice, just started hooking up the winch. I stepped out with my coffee, calm as I could. "Excuse me," I called. "Can I help you?" Evening Mercer Gage sneered. "Compliance pickup, bylaw 11F. "There is no 11F, I said, and you're on my property. Leave now." He stepped closer, chest puffed. "We're taking it. You'll get it back when you pay the $500. I held my ground. "That's theft. I'm calling the police." "We are the authority here," he snarled, stomping up my steps. Then he shoved me, both hands right into my chest. For a split second I wanted to shove him back to let all my anger fly, but I didn't. I raised my hands instead. "You just assaulted me, Gage. On camera, in front of a witness." His eyes darted around, searching for a camera he couldn't see. That seed of doubt was all I needed. And then sirens, lights, unmarked cars boxing in the flatbed. Detectives swarmed. Gage froze. Gary dropped the winch hook like it was burning him. "HOA security!" the officer sneered, snapping cuffs on Gage. "You have the right to remain silent." For the first time I felt the scales tip, but it didn't last long. The next morning we got a call the dashcam SD card with the best footage had vanished from the evidence locker. My stomach dropped. They were still pulling strings. Maybe they really were untouchable. Then Pam smiled, pointed to our server rack. "They don't know we have backups." Every second of that night was already uploaded. We sent the copy straight to the detectives. That backup saved the entire case and exposed something bigger. Because when police searched Karen's home with a warrant, guess what they found? That missing SD card. Stuffed in her designer handbag, evidence tag still attached. The HOA president, the self-proclaimed queen of our neighborhood, had walked into a police station and stolen evidence. She wasn't untouchable. She was reckless, arrogant, and finally caught red-handed. One by one, the dominoes fell. Madison pleaded guilty, probation, community service license revoked. Gage and Gary confessed, lost their positions, their power, their reputation. And Karen. She faced felony charges for tampering with evidence. At the emergency HOA meeting, neighbors raised their hands and voted her out. Just like that, the empire she'd built on fear collapsed. I didn't cheer. I didn't celebrate. I just sat there thinking how close we'd come to losing a child on that street, how many neighbors had suffered under their petty rules, and how long we'd all believed they couldn't be touched. And that's the truth. No one is untouchable.